What time is it?
It's Valentine's.
What time is it?
It's Valentine's.
What are we gonna get?
Several Pokemon.
Actually, no. Just one.
Aww.
Well, so I had recorded this a while ago, and Popkas readers will know that this went up and has been long gone for a bit. But I had recorded it, and we kind of sat on it, and now, hey, it's Valentine's. Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.
Here is a pink Pokemon for Valentine's.
See you guys in a second.
So here's me having already set up some stuff. I don't use photo references for everything, but this is Sylveon, and I, for the evolutions, did want to use actual reference photos of animals, because I've got this whole thing about the Eevees, where it's like, oh, so they're like a weird mix of like a cat, a fox, and a dog, right? Yeah, more or less. So
I always just think of them as being weird foxes, so most of them are dogs in my mind. I don't know.
Okay, so the thing is, some of them are slightly more fox, and some are slightly more dog, and some are slightly more cat. Like, Espeon is really cat.
Yeah.
But Sylveon, I was thinking this is a dog. So I looked up Chihuahuas specifically, because I was like, it's got like a short muzzle, and it's got kind of a light frame. And this was a cute picture of a cute little Chihuahua doing something.
Dog things.
Yeah, just whatever. It's looking at something off screen.
Horrible flesh tendrils.
Oh yeah, the flesh ribbons. That's, those are never going away. Just get used to the fact that it's got tentacles. For Valentine's.
Sylveon is so weird.
Yeah, but people love Sylveon.
Yeah, no, they do. They do.
Like I want to say, like, Sylveon skyrocketed up in popularity the moment it existed. Here's me decapitating it. I forgot I did this.
Yeah, I think this is right about where the bad thing happens.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so
Gimp
this is...
froze.
I was going to say, can you explain that?
GIMP 2.2 is a decade-old program that runs like ass sometimes. So what I did was I screen capped the frozen GIMP and then reopened GIMP where there's a cut there that you didn't see.
Yeah.
And I just took the screen cap of the sketch and I just put it up. Thankfully, I didn't lose like hours upon hours of layers and inking and coloring and shit because it was just a sketch. Yeah. And that was the only freeze we had.
Yep.
I've gotten
it should go back into...
Yeah.
It's been back up.
I've gotten into the habit of just sort of pressing Control S every so often. Mm-hmm. But it's a habit that I've only recently developed. And GIMP used to not crash this much. I think just... As operating systems have gotten more advanced or possibly jankier, because we're talking like Windows, GIMP has gotten harder to keep stable or something.
So you're done with your sketch lines.
Yep, and this is just me inking.
I gotta be totally honest with you. I cannot stand that eyeball on the outside of the head there.
Look at Sylveon's actual eyes.
I know, but
They're
it's like
bulbous orbs.
It looks. It's fine when you see it like this, but then when you really stop and think about it, that would be disgusting.
Look at that actual Chihuahua. You can kind of see it just a little bit. Chihuahuas have bug eyes, man.
I know they do.
And so does Sylveon.
I know.
It doesn't even have pupils. It's just these vapid alien eyes.
It has bug
flesh
eyes.
Tendrils.
It has bug eyes enough that I don't know if anybody really remembers this, but when X and Y were first announced, Sylveon was one of the first Pokemon that came out. Yep. And people weren't sure if it was bug type. Well, there was a serious conversation about it.
They announced fairy type when they put it out.
No, they didn't.
Oh, right. There were leaks, weren't there?
No, actually. No? Sylveon came out and was announced to the general population months upon months before they announced fairy type. Fairy type was something that was something that they tried to string people along as long as they could for it. Pokemon, what was it? Was it not Rumble? Was it Pokemon Burst at the time?
I don't know.
In Japan, TV Tokyo has a variety show that they do for Pokemon, and they had a whole segment where they had people dressed up like the Evolutions, and every week on Sunday, which is when, well, it was actually called Pokemon Sunday now that I think about it at the time, but every week on Sunday they'd have a little skit where the Evolution for Sylveon would walk around and would ask the other evolutions what they thought it was. And they would go through,
cute,
well, are
actually.
you dark type like me, Umbreon? And then they'd try all the dark related things.
No, that's, like, they're not going to repeat.
No,
They're just
yeah,
not.
no, they knew they weren't. Like that.
Yeah.
That was like only barely part of the
joke. Were they
joke.
just sort of screwing around?
Yeah, they were just screwing around.
Okay. Man, there's a lot of me fucking up on these ribbons.
That's fine. They're the horrible, horrible flesh tendrils.
Yeah, these are very delicate curves is the issue.
Okay. Those are part of its body. I think you pointed this out probably when you posted the thing too.
Yeah,
but
like repeatedly I've pointed out these are part of its body. Well, we all know it, but I won't let anyone forget it. These are part of its body. They can move these independently like limbs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here come the little pawsies, and it's actually kind of hard to do Pokemon paws sometimes.
Yeah.
First of all, almost all Pokemon mammals are going to have 3 toes to their paws.
Yeah.
Actual, like, dogs and cats have 4. So they're slightly easier. You only have to account for 3 lumps. But they're also so tapered and yet so well defined, and it's like, I always wind up making them too wide.
Yeah.
But they look okay here. If they didn't, I would have kept working on them, and you'd have had an hour of Sylveon paws being erased.
I've been there. I know how that is.
Sylveon is actually really appropriate for this particular Valentine's Day because it's waifu month, and this is the closest thing to a Pokemon waifu we've gotten since Gardevoir. I'm not gonna go into any kind of weird, I've seen some shit, but like, people love Sylveon so much for every possible reason.
I would argue that's not entirely true.
What else has been
Well,
that
Gardevoir
big?
was 3rd gen.
Lucario, you're right.
4th gen was Lucario and Lopunny.
Oh, I forgot about Lopunny. Well, this is still... Has anything usurped Sylveon for flavor of the month?
Probably.
Flavor of the generation.
Honestly, I don't see very many people who even like Sylveon.
Oh, dude, I see it all the time.
I don't know.
It's a sparkle dog. It's pink. I'll just point out quickly, those are the colors on the transgender pride flag, so a lot of Tumblr kids really love that. Yeah. It was like the first fairy type. It's a new evolution for the first time since 4th gen. Just people love Sylveon. Sylveon is just like the waifu. Oh, this is me double checking. Oh yeah.
Colorings or
yeah,
something?
the back of its head.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't think about where those markings stop, but its back doesn't have pink on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm constantly having to scroll down to look at the backs of sprites because you can't always tell certain things.
It's also a good Valentine's Pokemon because Sylveon evolves with affection.
You know what? That's right. I forgot.
It's not friendship with Sylveon like it is for Umbreon or Espeon. It's affection. It's love. Like, it is the difference between being friends and enjoying someone's company and actively loving someone.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing with this one.
Well, no, they just needed a reason for why Pokemon-amie needed to exist.
Yeah, that too.
And they were like, well, we can do it this way.
It's annoying now, though, that they're separate stats, though, right?
They're not separate stats, and to my knowledge, this is the only one that actually has anything to do with that.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing else actually works.
That's more annoying, actually. For all of the canon Pokemon, because this was from the Uranium set.
Yeah.
I didn't just write their names because I've already done these Pokemon before.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh, hey, Magikarp, what are you doing here? So this one, it was come over and play with Sylveon. And it was hard to fit this in here because I forget to plan for the text sometimes. I should know better. Oh, that's not going to work. Get that out of there.
Stop it, Megan. What are you doing?
Just scrap all that. Just fuck it.
Start right over.
Yeah, just do it smaller this time. And I can't resize that stuff unless I want it to be blurry, so I just rewrite it. Yeah, but I should know better because I write comics. Go read Laserwing, but like by now I should know that my composition should have space for word bubbles and text, but sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, coloring time.
Oh yeah, they thought, when Sylveon was first announced, based on its color scheme, they thought it might have been Dragon type. Because people forget, but there are canon symbols with colors for each of the types that appear in the games when you look at moves.
Huh.
And Dragon is blue and pink. And that is explicitly the shades of blue and pink.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. Like, I think it's blue on top and pink on the bottom. Like, dragon typing is weird about that.
I mean...
But then it became fairy, and fairy's just pink all the time.
Yeah,
so.
but psychic is pink all the time, isn't it?
Psychic is like a more pink-purple. Fairy is a much lighter
Yes,
pink.
the elements thing at some point stopped being really all that elementy. I mean, maybe from the start, honestly.
I guess. I don't know.
I would,
Probably.
like, whenever I think of dragons, I would think either of traditional, like medieval dragons, so I'd be thinking green, or I'm thinking of Dragonite, so I'd be thinking, like, yellow.
Yeah.
That's probably just me, though.
I have no idea.
It bugs me, and it still bugs me, by the way, that those bows don't have, like, ties to them.
No, they don't, because
There's no chunk in the middle.
I mean, they're weird butterfly growths.
They're flaps.
Anyway. Again, they're parts of its body.
There's no little middle section for Sailor Moon to put her crystals. Yeah. And that's weird.
This is like the epitome of gross Pokemon anatomy, too, when you really stop and think about it, because it's adorable, and it looks super cute, and you know exactly what's going on. But then when you stop and think, like, the bows and the ribbons both are parts of this thing's body that have independent movement, which means that there have to be muscle structures inside, and veins, and they're incredibly thin, so they have to be really compressed, or whatever. Like, it's one thing when a Pokemon has clothing and it's confusing, like Sock and Throw were a good example for that.
I still get mad about those designs.
Those have explanations. In universe, those are actual clothes that they make.
I mean, are they Pokemon at that point?
Yes,
they're sentient.
they're into.
Just
well,
hold on.
Gorillas make dolls. I mean, if you really want to be serious about it.
But we fully acknowledge that humans are animals. Well, most of us do. But, like, that doesn't mean that, like, the humans in the setting of Pokemon are considered Pokemon, because they're fucking not.
Alakazam is as smart as a supercomputer.
Well, wasn't there an early Pokedex entry where either Alakazam or Kadabra was, like, a kid who wakes up in that form one day or something? Oh,
no, I don't think so. No? Yamask kind of has a thing like that.
Yeah, but, like... Unless humans can be considered just an incredibly boring normal type, or potentially have secret powers we don't know about. I'm sick and
tired of people saying that. That's so annoying.
I mean, psychics exist.
Yeah, well...
But, like, either they should, like, make the plunge on acknowledging these weird things in the human potential, or just let Pokemon and people be separate.
The issue is that Pokemon and people are separate, and I think that the games lately have been trying to drive towards that concept. Wherein you have the introduction of the Ultra Wormholes and of Ultra Beast worlds and shit like that, where it's like, hey, guess what? Different dimensions have just tons of fucking Pokemon in them. And some of them are Pokemon that exist in our dimension.
I don't think that if it's from another dimension entirely, it should be called a Pokemon either.
But that's the designation with Ultra Beasts. But, and there's a big one here, the games fully acknowledge that the Tapus, which are considered Pokemon originally, or came out of Ultra Wormholes, and that Solgaleo and Lunala are both also technically Ultra Beasts, because they also come from the Ultra Wormholes.
It's just, it feels like...
And the question is posed, what the hell else comes from an Ultra Wormhole? It could be literally everything.
It's just starting to feel more like the term Pokemon is just a garbage taxonomy. Like, it's just, we don't know what this shit is, so we're calling it a Pokemon.
Yeah, well, it's one of those
As opposed to being a dog, because they've never completely, like, denied that animals exist.
It's one of those things where they have.
I mean, it depends.
It's one of those things where they've come... It's almost full circle. We're doing the Clefairy thing. Clefairies are from space.
Yeah,
it's like, so people go, oh, well, then it's an alien, not a Pokemon. It's like, no, it's still totally a Pokemon. In fact, like all Pokemon may have come from space.
There needs to be a stronger definition of what a Pokemon is, and it's okay if other things are called something else. I'd probably be less angry that, like, Clink exists if they didn't call it a Pokemon. If Clink was an Ultra Beast,
I love Clink.
Fuck off.
Clink's amazing.
If they called
people hate it so much.
You just love that your girlfriend hates something, so you love that thing.
Oh no.
Happy Valentine's. Well, anyways, if they called it an Ultra Beast, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, well.
But that concept didn't exist then.
No, not at all. In fact, apparently, at least according to certain people, quote unquote, lately, who are supposedly in the know and are talking about actual things like from within Game Freak. Supposedly, Ultra Beast may have been a concept that they had wanted to work into 8th gen and then jumped the gun and went, no, let's just throw it in 7th.
I'm finding errors in my shading. Do I fix it? Do I fix it?
Probably.
No, I didn't fix it. I just sort of plowed over it. Never mind. It's flawless. When you zoom out, you can't tell.
Yeah.
Anyways, like, it just feels like the definition of what is or is not a Pokemon is broader than makes sense.
I guess.
And they I don't know.
I guess.
Sylveon's good, though. Sylveon feels like a Pokemon. It's weird and supernatural, but not to a point that sounds like they're fucking with us.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your actual process here? Because we're kind of glossing over this.
Well, you put light where the light goes and shadow where the shadow goes.
Do you want to explain how to use multiply layers and things like that?
Are we doing a tutorial now?
No, it's just some people don't realize how to do that.
Well,
I've seen some people
the more I communicate with other artists, which I actually don't do often, which is weird, I know, but the more I start to actually like talk to other artists about technique and stuff, the more I realize the way I do stuff seems completely alien to some other people, because I learned how to do this shit through things like Gaia Online and AWAS, if any of you know what that is, just like virtual pet areas, like where you were buying or selling like adoptable designs and stuff, and you make templates and you make it so that you can recolor it a bunch of times. So I set up all of my shading and stuff so that I can color under it and it works fine. Some people full-blown digital paint instead. So it's like, I don't think we should explain it here because it's weird.
That's fair.
It doesn't apply to everyone's work.
So here is the final product.
Yeah, I flattened it and reduced it from 1500 to 500, and that's the standard size for a Popka.
Yeah.
It covers up some of my mistakes, which I noticed that I'm tempted to go back and fix, but it doesn't matter now.
Well, it's been up for, what, like a month now? So
a month? It's been up for months, plural.
That, sure.
This is 137 in the uranium decks, and there's like 200, and then I did all the nuclears.
Fair enough. Now you're doing something new for Popkas too, right?
By the time of this recording, I don't think it will be out. There's something new coming, but it's not actually new. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Or it's here already. Who knows?
So happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Anything
Valentine's
else?
Day. I don't know.
Final thoughts?
I think this whole video has been final thoughts on Sylveon.
Yeah.
I have no more thoughts on Sylveon for now.
Sylveon's a good boy.
Or good girl.
Or good girl.
Or both.
I applaud the Valentine Pokemon.
It's a species. They're all good Sylveons.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine.